Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. Welcome onto the show. If you're here, I don't know how many people are here, who's here, what, but I can see my buddy Richard Ybarra is there. What's up, Richard? How's it going? Maybe you're still here, maybe you're not. Hashtag Tyrant Gang. I love it. Got a couple people out in here. I don't expect everybody to show up on this one. I know, last time I was a little butthurt, people didn't show up. But you know what? This one, it's just right. It's just out of my ass. Like, fuck, what am I going to do? I got my benches. But let me know how the music's going. I got some jazzy Christmas tunes going in the background. But anyway, good to see you all here. So let me just explain real quick. So this time around, it's all this fucking crazy shit going on with COVID, and everybody's like in or out, and we don't know yet. One thing or another. It's all fucking crazy. The news is changing minute by minute, and so it makes it very hard to do a pre-recorded show. It's hard to do a pre-recorded show when shit's changing like that. Well, I mean, when games are changing the dates and everything, and like we don't know who's gonna be in it, what, it's fucking crazy. It is a crazy year. It's crazy time to be a football fan, that's for sure right now with the COVID and everything like that. It's crazy time to live in this world, really. But overall, it's still good. We still have all the love in the world that we need. So, anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer some questions. If they're geared for tonight's game, better. If not, it's okay too. You can ask questions for tomorrow. However, I will be back tomorrow morning for a very special 2-hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour. I'm going to be doing a live version of Benches and Bumps because by then we'll know what the fuck is going on, right? We should at least anyway. So, we better ask. Anyway. And then, of course, I'll have up-to-date injury updates and, all the usual shit that I have on the Tinker Sticker Power Hour. But what I'll be doing is answering your questions, going into, actual, benches and bumps for the players that are actually playing. And I'm going to have some of those live for you tomorrow morning. That's going to be at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, special 2-hour live Tinker Stinker Power Hour, all right? So I'm going to get that for you guys. Of course, as usual, if you didn't know already, we got a grand prize giveaway. I don't have do I have the jersey on it? Maybe I don't. I don't actually. Usually I have the jersey nearby, but I don't actually have it this time. It's been moved. Whatever. Anyway, so you can get a signed DeAndre Swift jersey if you want to enter to win that. Go ahead and donate, pledge on Patreon, whatever you got to do. All the links are there in the description. For every $1 you donate, you get an entry into the grand prize giveaway for that signed, stitched DeAndre Swift jersey. Half of all donations and pledges are going to the Dornbecker Children's Hospitals this week. So this month, well, at least through Christmas. So go ahead, if you have a little spirit of giving in you, go ahead and give, and you might be getting as well. You never know. Anyway, thank you those who did show up. Like I said, I'm not expecting everyone to be here. I am gonna send out some links, here and there to try to get more people and that might not know what's going on. They might not know that I have a show right now. Chances are most of my fans don't, because they're like, I'm waiting for Benches and Bumps and I can watch that anytime. They don't know. They'll come on and be like, what the fuck? You did a goddamn live show again? That son of a bitch. You didn't let me know. Anyway, sorry if that's you. But anyway, I'm going to answer some questions here. I'm also going to get into the preview for tonight's game between the Colts and the Pats. Saturday games are starting. We're going to have 2 of them. Before we do all that, it's 4:20, all right? 4:20 right now. So all those who want to blaze up with me, I got a little Bubba Kush, some old school shit. So here we go. 4:20 on the West Coast anyway. And let me know about that jazz music I got going in the background. Do you need me to turn it up? Do you want me to turn it down? You tell me. Is it interfering? Can you not hear it? What's up? So, anyway. First thing I'm going to do is actually load up another bowl, because that was ass, basically. Yeah. Well, I pre-upped a little bit before the show, so I'm trying to get some sort of dispensary for the shit. All right, here we go. Like I said, put your questions down there. Turn up the jazz, I'm being told. Turn it up. All right. There. Let me know if I need to turn it up anymore. So, a little holiday festive jazz music in the background. It's that time of season. I'm a festive guy, as you can see. But anyway, we're going to get to some questions. I'm going to get to a preview of the game itself and let you know kind of what I think is going to happen from a fantasy perspective. Saturday game's kind of weird, a little bit of a short week, but not quite like a Thursday. So I'm not going to look into it that much. All right. I got some questions popping up, and I'm going to get to those here in just a moment. So let me know too if any of you are into daily fantasy and maybe in a state that you can't do it right now. Let me know because I can hook you up with something, and you can also get entries into the grand prize giveaway for that. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna take this here real quick. I'm gonna answer some questions, and I'm gonna get into the previews. All right. If you know anybody who's usually on the show and you're friends with them or whatever, be like, hey, Tyrant's doing a show. Get the fuck on. Anyway. Yeah, I like that music. It's good. It's good. Little jazzy Christmas tunes, we got it. We love it. So I'm gonna take a look here at some other little messages. Don, you started on my TV, YouTube before phone. Hey, apparently, YouTube's the way to go. I put that out for that reason. If you're not watching me on YouTube, go on my YouTube page, give me a like, subscribe and all that shit if you haven't. I'm sure everybody who's on right now is probably subscribed. Likely. Nobody's watching this show going, oh, I'm just gonna randomly watch this weird dude that came up on my screen out of fucking nowhere. Anyway, maybe you did, and if you did, fucking awesome. Welcome to the show. It's like fantasy football advice with a little bit of an edge. I don't know. You can call it an edge. You can call it just weird bullshit. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. All right. Richard Ibarra, Elliott, or Carter this week. I'm going to go Zeke Elliott just because, it's like my usual thing. I like to wait and see on guys. I like when they come back, from injury. I like to wait and see. Carter could be great. But then again, it is the Jets, and it is Zach Wilson at QB. So, I'm a little nervous about that. Understandably so, right? So that's kind of my main concern there, really. I think Carter's a very talented player. I think that he's going to have better weeks. I want to see him get acclimated back into the offense. I want to see how he does with Zach Wilson in there. So yeah. I and on the other hand, I actually think Elliott could do all right this week. I know it's been kind of rough here and there for him. I'll turn that down a little bit. I know it's been kind of rough for him. I don't think he's quite a bust as a lot of people are thinking about him. I wouldn't really go that far. But the Giants do offer up a pretty good matchup here. They're giving up the 8th most fantasy points to running backs in the season. I know he's had a couple bad games in a row, but I think that offense is really starting to click. I think both New Orleans and Washington are better against the run than they get credit for. And before that, he was a solid guy. I think he's much more high-end RB2 than a RB1 these days. But I'm definitely not. I'm not starting Carter over him. Not this week, anyway. Good question, though. All right, Nicholas. Hell yeah, let's get that jersey. That's right. Get your pledges in. Get your donations in. Half of all donations go to Dornbecker Children's Hospital. So if you're gonna give now. Try to get that jersey. Thanks for the reminder there, Nicholas. Carolyn, how you doing, my gal? How confident are you about the Rams actually playing? Do I start Dak over Stafford to be safe? Yeah, I would start Dak. Actually, I want to start Dak over Stafford anyway, just because the matchup against the Giants is good. It's a divisional game. He's going to want to put up some points. The Giants, are, giving it up to QB, so I'm not really worried about them. So whether the Rams play or not, I'm liking Dak over Stafford. I do think that the Rams play, I guess. They're saying that they are. Last year when this kind of thing happened, we most of the time, except for I think there was a Pittsburgh game that ended up actually being postponed further. But most of the games that they postponed, they ended up playing. So I'm going based on that. I'm saying I think that they play. Yeah, Hendo's off the list. You got lots of Sony. Do I still like Sony? Nah. Yeah. I mean, if anything, even if it's like a committee, I'm not liking a committee there either. So if I were you, yeah, go ahead and start Dak and sit Sony Michelle. Thanks, Carolyn. I will. You're one of my super freaks, and I know that you sent me an email, and I promise I'm going to get to that. Like, that's the very first thing I'm going to do after this show is done. I'm going to answer that email real quick, and then I'll be on my way. All right. Nicholas, pick 2. Montgomery, Javonte Williams, Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah. You know what? Go ahead and give me Monty and Williams. I know that Harris is out, and it could be a big game for Stevenson, but actually, I'll be getting into that a little bit here later. I'm not big on him, even though he has the opportunity. The guy, I think he's someone you definitely hold on to. If for some reason he's available in your league, he's only available like 29% of leagues, so chances are he's taken up. But if you can get him, because going forward, it's going to be dynamite. I'm not so sure against Indianapolis. They're a top 5 team against fantasy running backs. So, defensively, I don't like it. It's in Indianapolis. I think Colts are going to play well. I don't see any on the defense. I don't see any injuries that I would consider significant enough to where, Antoine Woods, whatever. I think everyone else that's in there is going to, they're going to play good enough defense. They're going to get to the quarterback. They're going to, they'll get to the run. I think this is going to be a very low scoring game. Okay. I think it's going to be kind of a low scoring slogfest. I'm going to get to that though here in a little bit when I do the full preview. So anyway, but that's a little preview. I like Monty and Javonte Williams this week. I think Java's proved himself even with Gordon in there, that he's at least an RB2 every week. And Monty, same thing. So done. I got nobody in the fight tonight, but we watch it for my league competition scores. Hey. And it's just for a game, like whatever. And it's not going to be the best game either, If you could skip a game, maybe you skip it. No, I don't know. We love. Remember when the Colts versus Pats was where it was fucking at? That was like the AFC Championship game every year, between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And now it's like Carson Wentz and Mac Jones. Like, fucking no thanks. No, I'm just kidding. It should be all right, though. I mean, there's some great players to look at in this game. Vinny, what's up, Coach Caliendo? I'm driving and listening to the show. Hashtag Tyrant Gang. Thank you, sir. Good to hear you. Good to hear from you, my friend. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow or something. At some point. I don't know. We got some shit going on tomorrow. I don't know. But, yeah, give me a call later on. Come over tonight even. I don't give a shit. Anyway, I don't mean weak. I don't mean boo like I want anyone to have COVID. Just I want roles to be close. Yeah. No, I get you. And I know you don't want anyone to have COVID. I get you. I know what you mean. We're fantasy players. We say some shit that if we were really actually meant the shit we said, we'd be fucking ashamed of ourselves. So, but when you're playing fantasy football, you're with other people, they understand. You're like, fuck that guy. Why is he coming back? Oh yeah, he's injured. Fuck yeah, he's on the other guy's team. We don't really mean it. In real life, we would never really say that to the person. There are people out there that say shit like that. Like, I hope you get injured. They say it to the person. What the fuck is wrong with you? You fucking nut. Damn it. I know you're not like that, so don't worry. Richard Ibarra. Ask him for this week. Richard Ibarra tagging dad. Okay. All right. Tag your dad or something. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Taysom Hill or Russell Wilson? Oh, is this part of the question here? Taysom Hill or Russell Wilson? Oh, man. That's going to be tough because I think that Russ has been cooking a little bit more. And, with games postponed and shit, I mean, that might fuck with him a little bit, but it's not going to fuck with him so much this week as next week. So, I think that stupid thing. Give me a second. Sorry. The Rams is not a great matchup for him. He's been cooking a little more. He's finally got over 20 fantasy points. I think he gets right around that, this week. However, Taysom Hill, I think gets about 24, 25 fantasy points. I've called his fantasy point total pretty much right on since he's been starting. So let's go for it again. It's a good matchup. against Tampa Bay. The defense is pretty much against the run. Otherwise, they're not so great. Part of the reason is because, Tom Brady puts up points. So the other team has got to put up points too. And they're not that great at defending, especially through the air. So Taysom Hill, love him this week. Now, he is going to get some work on the ground, but I don't think they're going to catch him so much. I like Taysom Hill for about 24, 25 points this week. I go a slight nod on him over Russ Wilson. Good question, though. What are your thoughts? Carolyn asks, what are your thoughts on Connor's ankle and Edmonds' return? I could play Edmonds over Sony, or I could play Aaron Jones or Dylan. Well, you're going to play Aaron Jones out of all of them for sure, 100%. No doubt about it, you're going to play Aaron Jones out of all those guys. I know it's like hit and miss with the guy, but, you can't. It's kind of like Tyreek Hill, There's going to be some weeks where you're like, what the fuck? Why the hell did he only give me 5 points? But then you're going to have weeks like, holy shit, he got me 30. So, you don't want to miss out on that. No. Definitely not. The people, well, what about the matchup? What about the matchup? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with this guy. He's either going to go off or he's not. Then the matchup's not going to matter all that much. And I'm just, no. You play Aaron Jones in that situation. As far as the Connor ankle Edmonds return thing, I think Edmonds does do well. I love my baby boy Chase, as you all know. But I think that Connor's going to get played too. He's going to get a little bit. I think that Edmonds is going to get a little bit more. Connor's probably just going to vulture at the goal line, and that's it. So, I like Edmonds a little bit more because of, he catches passes out of the backfield. He's good with that. And, he's my little baby boy. I can't fucking go against. No, I have good reasons there, I think. But yeah, I would go slight, more than slightly. And I'd say just, straight up lean of Edmonds over Connors this week. And yeah, owner Edmonds over Sony for sure. Pats and Colts should be good. 2 good run games and good coaching. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. It's going to be a good game. I still just think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be a lot of running. However, Ramondre Stevenson, I'm a little worried about just because there's, I guess if you think about it this way, he's the only guy in town. So yeah, I can definitely see why you want to go with him. But I wouldn't go with him over other people. Like, someone was asking like him over Javonte Williams. No, I'm not going to take him over Javonte Williams. I'd say that he's, in my mind, a bust. He's someone that can do well, but it could be a bust too. You don't know. We have to see how that turns out. Game script could fuck that all up completely. Coaches could fuck that all up completely. You're right. From an NFL perspective, it could be a great game, like a real chess match between 2 good coaches and 2 teams that, can get it done on the defense. So I think defensively, it's going to be a really good game. I'm going to get more into that here in just a second. Just a couple more questions here. Would you start Pittman, Bourne, OBJ, Gage? That's a good one. Let me check on something real quick. Oh, boy. That almost was disastrous. It's okay, though. Yeah, because Odell's cleared. He's just been playing well since he's been with the Rams. That was just like the cure to his woes, was just finding a team that could get him the ball. That's simple. Baker doesn't throw the fucking ball. That's the problem. The problem wasn't OBJ. It was that Baker couldn't throw the ball. Eli Manning couldn't throw the ball. Daniel Jones can't fucking throw the ball. None of his quarterbacks have ever really thrown the ball. Now we got Stafford. He throws the ball. Lo and behold, he gets the points. And I'm not saying that, Eli Manning did throw the ball a little bit more, but as soon as he left, boom, OBJ's value is gone. He gets traded to the Browns. Goodbye. Fucking value for OBJ. He gets traded to the Rams. Hello. Nice to see you again, OBJ's production. Good to see a nice little vacation you had. But we're bringing you back. I like it. Give me OBJ this week. A little bit over Pittman. I like Pittman a little bit, and I'll get into that later. But I think if you're going for a safer play, I like OBJ. Hurts or Taysom? Taysom. I don't even know. Has Hurts even been 100% clear to play? Because last I heard, no. But I'm going to double check that right now. He's still questionable. So he hasn't been ruled out. He did practice in full on Friday, so chances are he's going to play. But it is possible that Gardner Minshew plays. I don't know. Either way, I'm not liking it. I think Hurts is hurt. So, I think that Taysom is a lot safer. So let's go Taysom. Okay. You're welcome, Facebook user. All right, so let me get into a preview here of tonight's game. Before I do that, I'm gonna take another little hit of the Bubba Kush. Bubba Kush, man, that's some old school shit, right? A lot of you that smoke out there, you probably smoke Bubba Kush. And as far as the questions coming up now, I'm gonna answer those here in a second. If you got questions, put them down there in the comments. I will get to them. All right. So tonight we've got the Colts and the Pats. Like I said before, this used to be a marquee fucking game when it was Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. God damn it. This thing doesn't want to go out. Well, first of all, of course, the big news being Damian Harris is out. I think, right? Yeah. Damian Harris is out. Ronnie Perkins is out. We've got a lot of questionables. A lot on the Lions, defensive and offensive. For the Pats. For the Colts, it's pretty much just Antoine Woods is out. But one thing, they've got Ryan Kelly out. Now that's gonna be make it a little bit tough on the offensive line, and that's why I think this week we see Wentz instead of Wentz. Yeah, expect Carson's cavalcade of crap to make a holiday return, folks. Yeah, I wouldn't start Wentz this week. The Pats D is too good. Yeah, they're going to have trouble with JT. Everyone's going to have trouble with JT. JT's going to have a fine game. I don't think he's going to burn them up for 30-plus fantasy points, but I think he's going to get, somewhere between 15 and 20 or so. He's going to get you a solid game. All right? I still think, dude, nothing stops the guy. If he gets stopped, I would be fucking shocked, honestly, if he does. If the dude gets like less than 10 fantasy points, I will eat this hat. And I've made that promise many times that I've never had to eat a hat, thank God. But if he gets less than 10 fantasy points, I will fucking eat this hat. However, if it does happen, okay, if he gets more than 10 fantasy points, you all have to donate. Nah, you don't have to. It's okay. It's okay. That's a terrible kind of call. But yeah, seriously, if he gets less than 10 fantasy points, I will eat this hat. If I am wrong and I do eat the hat, I'm going to charge people to watch me for a donation. I'll do that much. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's not going to happen, okay? JT's going to get his, so don't worry about that. I'm not starting any other, not starting Hines or anything like that. Don't get cute with it. You get JT, yeah, sure, he's in there. You got Pittman, yeah, I'm starting him. I'm a little bit worried about Pittman just because, what we've seen recently. And I think they're going to get to Wentz. I think that, Pats are going to get to Carson Wentz. And that, Pittman's going to be affected by that cavalcade of crap. Now, that being said, I don't think Pittman's going to be, completely shut out. I like the guy when he's connecting with Wentz, whether it be Wentz or Wentz, he has okay games. Last time, last week they played, he had 17 fantasy points. That's a solid game. Honestly, if you look at it, he's really only had 2 or 3 really bad games, So I'm starting Pittman no matter what. He's kind of like Deontay Johnson minus the drops, I ain't starting T.Y. T.Y. hasn't shown me that he's going to do shit. I'm not starting Pascal, whoever else. Zylstra or whatever the fuck. No. Just Pittman. Just Pittman and JT. That's really all. Oh, yeah. And the Colts defense, because I think that Mac Jones has proven to us that, he's all right, but he's not going to light you up, okay? And I think the Colts can take care of him. I think the Colts can take care of Ramondre Stevenson. And that's why I'm worried about them, because the Colts are giving up the 5th least fantasy points to opposing running backs. They're good. They're a damn good defense. They're at home. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I like them. I do. I like the Colts D this week. Okay, so there's 3 starts from the Colts. JT, of course. I don't have to tell you that. You're starting him anyway. You'd be stupid to think, am I going to sit Jonathan? I actually did have somebody ask that. Can you believe that shit? Someone actually asked me, hey, it's the Pats D. Should I start? No, you don't sit Jonathan Taylor. Not in the playoffs. Not ever. Never. It's not even a sit your studs thing. It's just stupid. Why would you do that? I'm sorry. I don't mean to call anyone stupid if you're asking that. But come on. It's Jonathan Taylor, right? Even if he does put up a fucking dud of a game, I don't give a fuck. Could you imagine sitting him for somebody thinking, oh, I'm going to get cute and I'm going to start Ramondre Stevenson and I'm going to sit fucking JT and then Ramondre Stevenson gets like 5 or 6 points and JT goes off for 20. So you're going to feel like a dumbass. All right. However, if you start JT, okay, and he gets like, 10 points, you're going to be like, well, that sucked. But at least, you're going to be like, I know I made the right play still, whatever. That's how you got to think about it sometimes. On the other side of the ball with the Pats, again, I'm starting the Pats defense. I think they're going to be able to take care of, Wentz or Wentz in this case. I think they're still, like I said, they're not going to be able to do much against JT, but I think they're going to, they're able to score. They can maybe even score like a pick 6 off of Wentz, You get fucking J.C. Jackson up in there, get a pick 6 out of it. I can definitely see that shit happening. Yeah. I like both the defense. Plus, it's a Saturday game. It's not, like I said, it's not like a Thursday game. But at the same time, I have a feeling that it's going to be a slogfest. It's going to be a slogfest. Ramondre Stevenson, I have more as a bust alert. Like you might want to start him depending on what you have. I'm not starting him over any studs. For instance, I'm starting James Robinson over him. Okay, I'm not starting Stevenson over Robinson. After what we're hearing this week, after Urban Meyer got the fucking shit can like he deserved. Okay, now we're gonna see J-Rob beat fucking J-Rob. All right, so you're starting him over Stevenson for one thing. Okay, for another, Indianapolis defense is good. They can get it done. I'm worried a little bit about Stevenson, but anyway. I think he's going to be starter. The guy could fucking blow it up. He really could. Like I said, if you have him in a flex position and you don't have a lot of other good options, sure, you're probably starting him. But I'd be careful, temper your expectations just because he's starting with Harris out. I do think he could be, big going forward, as far as the rest of the playoffs is concerned. I think this is a bad matchup for him. But, and the Buffalo's a bad matchup. But then if you save him for the championship game, all right, he could be big against Jacksonville. So hold on to him. Hold on to him. All right? As far as wide receivers, I'm not starting any. I'm not starting Bourne. Anybody else? Who they got there this week? Who's actually healthy? No, I'm just kidding. As far as we know, everyone's fine. There's no COVID going around there. So, the only person that was out really is Harris. Bourne has played good here and there. I think if there's any wide receiver that I want on that team, it's probably Bourne. But even then, what did he get? 0.3 fantasy points last week. See? You can't trust him. So I'm not trusting any wide receivers for the Pats at all. None of them. You just can't. It's been that way all season long. You just can't trust them. They'll do great one week, and then you can't chase fantasy points with the Pats. The only constant with them, the only fantasy commodities they got, okay, defensive kicker, Nick Foles, inside of a dome. Love him. Love Nick Foles. Love the Pats defense. Not big on Stevenson. Not big on the wide receivers. Henry, if you want like 8 to 10 points, sure. If that's what you got to go with, sure. You're gonna get that solid. But there's a chance you got better options, and I would go with them. But if you're okay with getting like somewhere between 8 and 12 points, probably around the 10-point range. That's what I think of for Henry. As far as you're not. I'm not big on Mac Jones. Definitely not. He's matchup based only. If that, I think he's going to be fine as a quarterback. He's just they're a very defensive team. It's Bill Belichick's team. It ain't Mac Jones' team. Okay, so there you go. I think that pretty much covers every position. That's how I feel about the game from a fantasy perspective. I pretty much covered that. I'm going to answer questions and then head on out. But before I do that, I want to let you guys know tomorrow morning, 2-hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour. I'm going to do a live benches and bumps. I didn't do a benches and bumps this week because of all the COVID shit, because of games being moved. That changes fucking everything. All right? I just can't put out a show and have more than half the information be completely invalid. I wasn't going to fucking waste my time or your time doing that. So I figured, fuck it. I'm doing live shows instead. So here we are, live show. And I'm going to do one again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 2-hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour. Yeah. So we're going to move on to some questions here. If you got some questions about tonight or going forward, put them down there in the comments. I'm going to answer them one by one and then get out of here for you. All right, Pittman or Gage? Man, that's a tough one. So, like I said before, I like the idea of starting Pittman just because he could at any time, have a great game. Most of the time, most of his games have been solid. He's been at least like a wide receiver, too. You at least put him in as a flex, every week. As Gage is going, he's in the same boat right now. So if you want to go after Gage because of the matchup, I can definitely see that. I think Pittman is. I don't know though. I don't know. I think they have equal floors. I think they do. I think maybe as a floor goes, I think that Gage might have a little bit more just because of the matchup. But as far as the ceiling goes, I think Pittman takes Gage in that. So it depends on what you need more. If you just want to make sure that you get your 12 to 15 fantasy points, go with Gage 100%. But if you're like, fuck, I need to score some points now, and I need some, like if you're projected down 20 or 30 points against your opponent this week in the fantasy playoffs, then yeah, you got to make some bold moves, right? Pittman is a move in that case. But if you're sitting comfortably, go with Gage. That's how it is. I know it's kind of a bullshit answer a little bit, but when it's that close, that's how I look at things. See, my way of analysis, I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't have bosses telling me who I should tell you to sit and start, okay? All I'm sharing with all of you every week is this is what I would do in your situation. And considering the percentage of my win percentage, it's damn near 70% over 15 years. And I'm talking about at least 5 fantasy teams per year, and multiple championships in leagues, against other gurus, like Matthew Berry and all them people. I fucking beat all those guys. I know what I'm fucking doing. I'm not trying to brag because I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to let you know, dude, I know what I'm doing here. I'm not perfect. No, I'm not Nostradamus, but sometimes it seems like it. But no, I'm serious. That's why I did this show, because I'm tired of these other guys just telling you bullshit. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm going to tell you what I fucking think. And what I think is, if you need the solid points, go Gage. If you need big home run, go Pittman. There you go. Johnny Blaze, Gallup or Mooney, and why? You son of a... No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Of course, I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just going to go Gallup, but it's not like I'm typing it out, I'm doing this on a show. It'd be fucking boring if I just said names and shit, right? I'd be a fucking hack if that's all I did. Yeah, I could just look at like who, I could just go into Fantasy Pros and go, who versus who, and just answer your fucking question. I ain't like that. I ain't like that. You know how many times I've gone against, like, it was 98% this guy, and I'm like, no, go with the other guy, and I was right, Because, some of us have big grapefruit chrome-plated balls, and some don't. Also, I'm going to tell you the truth on stuff. I'm not going to sit here and just give you an answer like right now. I'm not going to say, oh, I think Gallup because, I think Dak's going to have a good game. No, I'm going to take a look at a couple things because I want to make sure I give you a correct answer, not some bullshit, just off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, I would probably say Gallup, and the reason why is because he's got Dak thrown to him. He is the number 3 guy. I think definitely over Schultz at this point. Since he's been back, he's gotten better and better. Last 3 weeks he's hitting double-digit fantasy points. This week he's going up against New York, that's given him the 7th most fantasy points to wide receivers. So that's, there you go. I'm not just going to give you some fucking bullshit answer. Now, Mooney is not a bad choice because, he's got a good matchup as well against Minnesota, who's actually giving up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. However, it's really not as solid in Chicago. It's just not been. I know that Mooney is Fields' guy, but, look at the last couple weeks. It's not been so good. Not been good. If you need the solid production, yeah. I would definitely go with Gallup, and I don't think that Mooney has any much more of a ceiling, or any more of a ceiling, really. So that's where I'm going with that. Gallup over Mooney, and that is why. Yeah, I know you'll tell me why. Yeah, I appreciate it. He had 2 last week. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and I had him as a start. I was like, dude, fire up Mooney. Fields is back. Go for it. Yeah. Hey, I don't always get them right, folks. Like I said, I'm not Nostradamus. Trying to predict what football players are going to do from week to week is fucking impossible. So I'm not saying that that I can do it. I'm just saying that I try to give you the best that I can. Thank you so much, my man. Good luck for you this week. We thank you for your time. Love that you explained why. Right. It's not just like some fucking bullshit. Now, I'm telling you, if I'm answering questions like out there in computer land and I'm putting my links up, I'm just saying, I just go Mooney and then I put my link. It's because I have to answer like thousands. You have no idea how many fucking questions I will put up like a sit-star thread, and within a minute, I've already got 20 fucking responses. How fucking fast do you think I'm supposed to go? Jesus, if you want more explanation on everything, hit me up on Patreon. Donate via PayPal or Venmo. All right, you do that. I'll answer your questions in depth, and you can hit me up in the DMs. All right, or come on to my shows here, and I'll answer them in depth. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for coming to this last second fucking, pull it out of my ass kind of show. We are on a pull it out of my ass year, right? Because this is the fucking COVID. If you win championships during this COVID years, either you're really fucking lucky or you're really fucking good, or you've been listening to me, which means you are fucking good because you're smart enough. See, part of being smart enough is not just knowing the information. It's knowing that you don't know the information and who does, so you can glean it off of them. Those are the most intelligent people, all right? Not the ones that just think they know everything. So, a couple of little things real quick. Nicholas Stafford, you're awesome, man. I appreciate all the help every week. By the way, good call on Jamar Chase last week. Thank you, man. Hopefully that helps. It sounds like you're in good runnings for the playoffs here. So good. Good on you, Nick. Glad I could be of help. The shows in rows, Nick Folk and Greg Zerline. Nick Folk is against a good matchup. I like Nick Folk. I think they're both going to get 11 to 13 points. But I like Nick Folk a little bit more, playing in the dome. Zerline, let me look at. I just want to double. Dude, I'm telling you, Greg the Leg, no matter who he plays for, he's had some off games, but for the most part, dude's been solid his entire career. I can't fault him for that. He's got a good matchup too. That's but I'm gonna give the slight lean to Nick Folk this week. Okay, because I think that the Colts defense is good enough to stop them in the red zone. But the Pats can move it downfield, so I think we're going to see a lot of kicking. It's going to be a slog fest. All right, we're going to have something like a 16 to 12, something like that, right? Anyway, I'm not sure who's going to be which. Probably the Pats will be 16, but anyway, maybe 16-13. 17-13, whatever. So some fucking score right around there. A lot of kicking, I think. So yeah, I like Nick Folk. Some people are on here fucking saying some bullshit. I don't know. They're just like trying to advertise as gay. That's the gay is Ghey. Don't whatever. Folk is a must start. Been unreal. I agree. He is. Nick Folk is against the Colts, who are good against the kicker. Yeah, but that's just because of it's nothing to, okay, so all right, so whether a team is good or bad against the kicker has nothing to do with anything other than the defense. Okay? You have to think about how it works. But the thing is, Nick Folk and the Pats, the way that they play, they're gonna have, when you talk about like, well, who's better or worse kicker, that could the team that is worst against kicker could become the best against kicker in 1 week just because the kicker that they're facing happens to have 0 points that week. Because that's how close it is. I mean, if you look at the parity on the kickers, it's just fucking nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I'm being completely honest. So, I mean, for instance, I'll give you an example. If I go to Nick Folk, all right, I'm just gonna get to the actual stats here for you, and then I got to get off because I have to answer Carolyn's questions. I love answering Carolyn's questions. She has some great questions. She's a very smart lady. She's a psychiatrist, Anyway. Yeah, Indianapolis has given up the fewest points to the kicking position. Well, sure, because of the fact that they're giving up. They don't give up a lot of scores. But I mean, they're not facing any. Okay, all right, Buffalo. I don't know, whatever. If you think it's going to be a low-scoring game, fuck it, yeah. I mean, take Nick Foles out. I mean, honestly, you could go either way. Go with your gut. I just think that Nick Foles, there's going to be some points. I may be wrong, but I just feel like it's going to be one of those kind of games. There's going to be some points put up, but they're not going to be touchdowns. Now, one of the reasons, and I'll tell you, hold on. Okay, so here's the thing. The Colts, I'm going to look at this here. So the Colts, okay, Houston, shitty defense overall. Tampa Bay is not all that great. Buffalo is fine. Jacksonville, no. Jets, no. Tennessee, no. Washington, no. Houston again, no. All right? Tennessee, they got 12 points up against them. So my point is, they're scoring touchdowns. They're getting ahead. They don't have to score. They're fucking playing well. I just feel like in this game, the defense is going to stop them from getting those touchdowns. JT is going to have an okay game, but not like a great game, and the rest of the squad ain't going to do shit. I just feel like it's going to come down to both sides. I think Ramondre Stevenson, same diff. I think he's going to get yardage, but he's not going to. I don't think Ramondre Stevenson is going to get in the end zone. That's just my opinion. I could, but whatever. I don't think he's going to. That's just how I feel. I mean, again, gut feeling. You go with what you want to, because to me, it's close enough with kickers. I hate trying to predict kickers because their production is so. There's so much parity there, it's so fucking volatile. So anyway, if you really like Greg the Leg, he's solid enough, go with him. It could just be a lot of touchdowns. Either way, there could just be back and forth touchdowns, and then he's just getting 1 point, because the Giants defense isn't good enough to stop, from getting touchdowns. So, well, whatever. I think both get around 10 points. Go either way. Flip a fucking coin. I don't give a shit. Someone flip a coin and tell them. I don't care. Hey, we got some more people coming on here in time for me to answer questions. Folk in a dome this week, so no weather, BS either. Yeah, shit, exactly. Yep, exactly. I'm great. Point. Yeah, I know I chose him or Butker, but I had to keep him in number one kicker in the fantasy football. I know. I think Butker might have a better game. I don't know. But stick with it. It could have, could be fine. Pittman, a good start today. Pittman is a good start every day. I don't think he's a better start than usual, but if you're starting him in your flex, yeah, go for it. If you've got other options that maybe have better matchups, go with them. It just depends on what, in a vacuum, though, I'm still starting him, at least in my flex. I think he's going to put up wide receiver 3 numbers this week. So there you go. That should tell you whether or not you want to start him. Pats will focus on Taylor leaving Pitt for him. Yeah. I think Pittman's good for a good game anytime. He's, like I said, he's one of those guys like Deontay Johnson. Maybe the rest of the team ain't going to get shit, but Deontay will, even if he drops him. And Pittman doesn't drop as much. So there you go. I got to get out of here, though, guys, because the game's going to start here in a half hour. I got to set some teams. I got to answer some questions. Thank you so much for coming to see me and for, getting a preview. Here's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, okay? 2-hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. 2 hours. I'm going to give you live benches and bumps. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to talk about streaming defenses, streaming kickers, even if I'm not a big fan of kickers. I'll tell you about who I want to start this week. And I've been on it with the streaming defense, and I've been on it especially with my sleepers, my deep dives. If for any other reason, come see it for that. All right, tomorrow morning, Tinker Stinker Power Hour. Till then, I'm out. Peace.